Whimsical has been floating around the internet recently, and if you're anything like me, you're probably like, what does whimsical even mean? What is whimsy? How do I become whimsy? Today, I'm gonna tell you exactly how you can add whimsy to your life and show you just how easy it is. I made the most delicious coffee this morning, by the way, so grab your coffee or your favorite drink or your favorite snack and let's just begin. I split all of these up into categories just because it was a lot easier for my brain to process that way, and so I'm hoping that by splitting them up, your brain can also process them a bit easier as well. The first category is adding playfulness to everyday moments, and the first one is coming up with a title name for every day of your year. And I know that sounds extra, but I've been doing this. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Like, for example, one of mine the other day was I feel like a woman because our washing machine broke and I had to wash all of my clothes by hand. So that's just a little example. It just brings so much more meaning to your life whenever you do that. And if you don't want to do every day, you could do every week or every month if you wanted to. You can split this up into whatever you want, but I think it's just the perfect way to add a little bit of whimsy to your everyday. The next one is adding sprinkles to absolutely everything. This morning I added sprinkles on top of my coffee and it made me feel so happy. It honestly just added an extra layer of happiness onto my day. You could get the most extra sprinkles possible, or you could get simple sprinkles. I got just like little simple rainbow sprinkles, but you can add them to your pancakes, add them to your waffles, add them to your matcha. But to me, adding sprinkles to everything just brings so much color to your life. And also your brain reacts to color as well. I don't know if y'all know that, but there's a little science for you. Your brain uses color as a form of energy. So to me, adding more color to my life just brings so much happiness. I love color so much, and little secret, being whimsical involves a lot of color. We will get there. The next thing is using cool shaped ice cubes. I was seeing all over Pinterest people using star-shaped ice cubes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to immediately buy a star-shaped ice cube tray. It genuinely just made me feel like there was so much more to life. Regular ice cubes are so boring, but if you make them into shapes like stars, hearts, I used to have a heart-shaped ice cube tray, but they were like little tiny hearts, and honestly, it was just too much effort to even like be worth it, but I want to get a bigger one. But just getting rid of the boring, mundane, everyday things and trading them out for more fun things, such as shaped ice cubes. Literally perfect. This next one is so simple and so easy, and that is making hearts or shapes on your face with your moisturizer. Just as you're doing your routine, just adding that little extra bit of extraness. It's not even a word, but like that's how I can describe it. Just being extra, okay? Being whimsical is being a little bit extra, and some of you maybe were taught that being extra was a bad thing, but being extra is a great thing because not everybody is extra and nobody wants to be normal. At least I don't. That's the whole point of being whimsical, is just being a little extra, being out of the ordinary. So just making it little hearts or stars or literally whatever else you want on your face with your moisturizer. Oh my gosh, I love this idea so much. It's kind of like romanticizing your life as well. And the last thing for this category is to stop taking things so seriously. There are specific things in life that need seriousness, but sometimes you need to transition out of that state of mind and be like, you know what? This doesn't even matter. I can make so much fun out of this. Just stop being so serious all the time. I know some people who are just serious all the time and they're no fun. People like that are not fun. So just don't be serious. Laugh even when it's really not that funny. Just have a good time always, or as much as possible at least. Or just like taking boring situations and not taking them so seriously and vamping them up a little bit. This next one is all about your clothing and what you're wearing. So category 2 is dressing like you're the main character. And the first one is wearing more colorful clothing. If you are the type of person that just wears all black or all white or just wears a lot of neutral colors, try to add more color into your closet. They don't even have to be bright colors, just color in general. Like if you look in my closet, all of my clothes are in rainbow order and I love it because my closet just looks like a rainbow. And honestly, I've just been trying to implement more color into my wardrobe the past, I want to say maybe 1.5 to 2 years, just because I was that person that used to wear like all black or just neutral colors. But again, color brings so much to your life and it makes your life not so boring. The next one is wearing fun socks. If you watched my organizing the things that y'all don't see video, you saw that I have so many just crazy fun different socks, and I did get rid of some of them just because I didn't need all of them. But wear fun socks, especially like holiday socks. They're my absolute favorite. I have socks for the 4th of July, for St. Patrick's Day, Easter, Christmas, Halloween. Just wear fun socks, and even if they're not seen, like even if your pants are covering them and your shoes are covering them, wear them anyway, because honestly, as long as as you know that your socks are fun, that's really all that matters. Being whimsical does not mean being loud or just being super extroverted. You can be introverted and quiet while also being whimsical. And to me, being whimsical just isn't loud in general. Like, even if you're a loud, outgoing, extroverted kind of person like I am, you can still have whimsy in your life that is quiet, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. But the next one is also having fun nail designs. As you can see, I have nothing on my nails right now, and that's because I'm letting them heal. I traumatized them a little bit by ripping press-on nails off, but you better know that as soon as I start doing my nails again, I will have the most fun nails. And I'm already the type of person that loves to have fun nails, especially again for specific holidays. But also, I've just been saving so many different nail designs on Pinterest recently that don't have anything to do with holidays and are just super fun. Again, being whimsical and adding whimsy to your life is all about being a little bit extra. The next one is matching PJ sets. Oh my gosh, y'all know that I love matching PJ sets. I have an entire drawer in my dresser full of matching PJ sets. And these PJ sets don't have to be crazy at all. I've been super into like stripes and polka dots lately. We'll get to that a little bit as well. Just have fun little matching PJ sets, and they can even be plain PJ sets. I don't know, just something about pajama sets is so whimsical to me. The next one is wearing fun pimple patches, and you're probably like, what do you mean, Emily? What? Give me a chance. Okay. I used to hate, let's not say hate, I used to really dislike when people would wear like the star pimple patches or the flower pimple patches or the heart pimple patches, just because I was like, why do you want that on your face? And here I am about to buy some because I now think that they are so cute. Like, I saw a girl in the drive-thru the other day who had some on, and I was like, wait, they're kind of cute. Like, I kind of really love them. And again, it's taking something that is so boring and turning it into something a little bit extra. Regular pimple patches are just clear and boring, but the colorful ones bring a little bit of extraness to your life and a little bit of whimsy. The next one is to not be afraid of patterns. Again, I've been telling y'all I've been really into stripes and polka dots lately. Don't be afraid to add some pattern into your closet. And I need to take this advice because honestly, in the past, I was like, no, I just want a solid color and that's it because it's easier to style. But honestly, the outfits that I keep seeing on Pinterest just involve so much color and pattern, and I am genuinely obsessed with all of it. Again, I feel like I'm gonna say this a million times. Being whimsical is being a little bit extra, especially with your clothing. If you look up whimsical outfit on Pinterest, all the things that will pop up are tons of pattern, tons of color. Some part of whimsy is also like fairy tale, pastel, sparkle, simple as well. So, I mean, you could really go either way, but to me, a lot of whimsy comes from pattern and lots of color. So take that how you will, but just don't be afraid to include a little bit of pattern into your life. Even if that means like getting some pattern bedding as well. Like, I have floral bedding and I was so scared to add floral into my room just because it's like really hard to add any other pattern into your room once you do that, but I love it so much and I get compliments on it all the time. So bring some pattern into your life. And the last one for this category is to dress up even if you feel out of place. Like, if your friends are just wearing jeans and a t-shirt out to dinner and you're wearing a really nice, it can be casual as well, but like a really nice dress, and you have your hair done and your makeup done, embrace that. One quote that I really love, and I'm not gonna like quote it exactly, but it's basically, you're the main event, not your outfit. So if you want to dress up, even if you're not going somewhere fancy, you are allowed to do that. You're allowed to dress up, even if you're not going to a main event, because at the end of the day, you are the main event. And if dressing up makes you feel good, then you should dress up. So dress up even if you feel out of place, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is your life, nobody else's. And I think that's a little whimsy. This next category is making your space feel magical. Again, whimsy is magical. The first one is adding fun lights to your room. So I just recently bought this really cute lamp from Walmart, and it's a little fun lamp. It's not like a normal lamp that you would see all the time, but also you can add fairy lights to your room or shaped lights, maybe some stars or heart lights. Again, adding things to your life that aren't so boring. This next one I actually love so much, and that is DIY room decor. You can find so many different ideas, especially on Pinterest, maybe even on YouTube from other creators, of things that you can make for your room. I will be participating because I want to make this like star, what's that called? I don't know, a star hanging thing. And I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet, but I am very, very excited about the idea because it's just gonna bring some pop to my room. You know what I mean? And it's not gonna be like basic decor, if you know what I mean. This next one kind of goes with like romanticizing your life, but that is using linen spray. I've been obsessed with using linen spray every single morning. Like after I make my bed, I'll just spray some linen spray on my bed, and I've actually had it for a very long time and just forget to use it, honestly, but I finally put it on my bedside table, so now I remember every single morning to go ahead and spray my bedding with linen spray, and it kind of fills your room with a certain smell, obviously, because you're spraying all of your linens, but it's a soft smell. It's not anything crazy like if you were to light a candle that usually fills your entire room with a smell. But the linen spray is very soft and delicate in my opinion, and I just think that it adds a little bit of extra, I don't want to say whimsy because I'm just gonna keep saying that over and over again in this video, but truly it adds whimsy to your life. And this next one I've already kind of gone over, but just bringing more color into your life. And I don't mean just your wardrobe, but everything else, bringing more color into your room. A few years ago, when we first moved into this house, I wanted everything to be white. I wanted no color. I just wanted white and gold. And I actually went into kind of a state of depression from that. I am telling you, your brain responds to color. And once I added my favorite color, which is pink, into my room, I felt so much happier. And I'm not saying that adding color to my room brought me out of a depressive state, but I'm just saying having color around makes you feel warmth and just makes you feel more like you're at home, at least to me. But going along those lines, I've been thinking about switching out my comforter for a yellow comforter, like a pastel yellow, which is my second favorite color. I love pink and yellow together, and I've just really been thinking about it and pondering on it, and part of me is scared to do it, but also, again, bringing more color into your life brings so much whimsy. The next category is creating just to create and not for show. So as a content creator, this one is very, very important to me because sometimes I'll be like, oh, I want to do this so I can film it. You know what I mean? And recently I've really just had to tell myself, Emily, you need to be doing things even if you're not filming them. It's more so things that are like doing a puzzle or scrapbooking or stuff like that. So I've been telling myself, do these things just to do it, not because it's gonna be seen by somebody or you wanna post it or you wanna film it. Just create to create. And the first one on the list is using stickers. I feel like a lot of my generation, I am Gen Z, a lot of my generation, we are the type of people who love stickers and we collect and collect and collect and never actually use them. But what's the point of having stickers if you're not gonna use them? I know you're always waiting for like the perfect moment or the perfect page or the perfect cup or the perfect computer case, whatever it is, wherever you're putting your stickers, we're always waiting for the perfect moment, but the truth is there is no perfect moment. If there is a perfect moment, it's now. So just use stickers. Use stickers. I think stickers just bring so much happiness. Like whenever you were a kid and you got a sticker back on your paper that was graded, oh my gosh, it made me the happiest person literally in the entire world. So adding whimsy into your life is kind of bringing that inner child out of you, and using stickers is definitely going to do that. I love this next one, and it reminds me of the movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before and that little series, which are also books by the way, which I kind of want to read, but I watched the movies first, so now I'm kind of like, do I want to read them? I don't know. Anyways, and that is writing letters but never actually sending them. And I kind of love this because it could be a letter to someone you're no longer friends with, or it could be a letter to your boyfriend or your fiance or your best friend, your siblings, your parents, your grandparents, someone you met at the grocery store that you'll probably never see again. This could be a letter to absolutely anybody, and the fun thing is they're never ever going to read it unless your little sister sends them out, which is what happens in the movie, by the way, if you've never seen it. But I just love this idea, and it kind of makes you feel like you're in a movie because you're writing these letters and you're putting them away. Just the thought that they'll never get to read them kind of makes me feel warm inside, because I'm like, wow, I could write literally anything to this person and they would never see it. You know what I mean? I love that idea, and I actually might start doing this because it's kind of really fun. And it adds a little bit of sparkle into your life, at least for me. That's kind of how I feel about it. This next one, and I am personally doing this one, and that is creating really fun Instagram posts. And I don't mean just posting your pictures like we all do now. I mean creating fun posts. If you go to my Instagram, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. I just love so much the like scrapbook style Instagram posts, and I started seeing these on Pinterest, which is where I obviously got the idea, where I was like, wow, I really, really want to do this. I am a very creative person, and sometimes I just need to let that creativity out. And for me, posting on Instagram isn't something super special. Like, I don't go and take pictures just to post on Instagram. When I post on Instagram, it's because I'm out doing something and I was taking pictures, or I was on vacation, or, you know, I was doing something. I didn't just go take pictures to take pictures. So whenever I want to post on Instagram, it's because I'm wanting to share a moment that I had. And sometimes I just feel like just putting picture after picture after picture doesn't doesn't really give you the same feeling that I felt while I was doing this specific thing. So I've been loving to create like a scrapbook kind of moment with all of my pictures, and I'm really loving it so far. And although it does take time, again, I'm a creative person, so it's kind of turned into a hobby for me. Like, I just love creating these posts so much, and I highly recommend doing this if you are a creative person but you don't have all of the things to scrapbook like in real life, like with an actual book. You can do it digitally, and it's so much fun, and I love it. And I do think that it is bringing whimsy into my life. This next one is sewing colorful buttons onto your clothing. I saw this one specific picture on Pinterest, and I loved the idea so much, and I genuinely think I'm gonna do it because it's just really cute. And recently I've been wanting to create more with clothing and getting into sewing my own clothes, adding to my own clothes. And the next one as well, going along with this, is just adding fabric to the inside of your pockets or like the inside of your jeans, so when you roll them up you can see the patterned fabric. Oh my gosh, I've been seeing this everywhere and I am so in love with it. I want to do it, but I'm scared to like mess up my clothes because I'm not a professional when it comes to sewing at all. But the buttons one is definitely a beginner step that you could take. You could go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or even Amazon and buy just a plain white tank top and purchase some buttons, which I think buttons are pretty cheap, to be honest with you. I've never bought buttons before, but what I can assume is that they're cheap, and just sew them on. I want to do this. I love this idea so much. This next category is romanticizing your lifestyle. Like I kind of mentioned earlier, being a whimsical or adding whimsy into your life is basically romanticizing your life with a few extra steps, because romanticizing your life is still kind of basic, but adding whimsy into your life adds a little bit of extra. I've said this so much. You get the point. So the first one on this list is reading in fun places. I am someone who only reads in bed. I don't know why, but I really like reading in bed. So what I mean by reading in fun places, like going to the lake and reading by the lake, or going to a pond and reading by the pond, reading outside in general, going to a coffee shop to read, going to a library to read. I mean, come on. There are so many different places that you could go to read. You can read anywhere. It doesn't matter where. You could read on a boat. You could read on a plane. You could read, I don't know, anywhere. Just read wherever. And the next one is having a pen pal. I don't even know how to go about starting this whole situation. I know that a few people have been doing like pen pals as their long distance best friend, and I think that's also really cute because you're just sending letters to your best friend, and it's so cute. I would love to have a pen pal. I just don't know how to go about that. So if you do know, please leave in the comments how to do that for other people who also want to have a pen pal. I think it'd be really cool to have a pen pal who is in a different country than you are. That would be amazing, because then y'all could just like send each other things back and forth that kind of correspond with the country you're in, or if you're in the United States, the state that you're in. So anyways, I think having a pen pal would be so much fun. This next one is collect something. It can be anything. For me, I collect pins, like the little pins that you can put on hats or bags. I personally put mine on a specific tote bag that I have, and anywhere that I go, I will buy a pen. So like when I was just in Colorado a few weeks ago, I bought a pen there and it's on my bag now. So just collecting something is very, very whimsical. You can collect jewelry, books, hair clips, makeup, little figurines if you want to. Just collect something. I don't know. I feel like people who collect things are really interesting people. And I'm not just saying that because I collect pins, but like anyone that I've known who has something specific that they collect, there's always a story behind it, or there's always a specific meaning behind it. And I love that so much. This next one is very, very, very important. And I talk about this all the time in a lot of my videos, but adding more hobbies into your life. I feel like my generation has just become obsessed with the internet. And I know I'm like hypocritical for saying this because my job is content creation, but we've become obsessed with the internet so much that it's taking over our lives, and we're not actually doing hobbies anymore. We're not leaving our rooms, we're not leaving our houses, we're not being active, we're not using our brains and being creative. And so I think it's really important to add hobbies into your everyday life, and it can be anything. There are so many hobbies. I have a video that gives you 70+ hobbies that you can look into or maybe think about starting. So definitely go watch that video after this one if you have no idea where to even start with hobbies, because genuinely there are so many. The list goes on and on and on. But just adding hobbies into your life. Be a hobby girl, be a hobby boy. Just do hobbies. Hobbies are so whimsical, so whimsy. If you imagine right now somebody who is whimsical or someone who has a lot of whimsy in their life, you imagine and you know for a fact that they at least have one hobby that they are interested in, and they love that hobby and they do it frequently. So be sure to add hobbies into your life, and that's not just important for being whimsical whimsical, but that is just important for your life in general. Get into some hobbies. This last one is kind of silly, and it just kind of came to my brain one night when I was like sitting here thinking of ways to add whimsy to your life, and it's very random, but that is get a bubble machine. I know it sounds crazy, but one thing that's great about it is in the summer, if you're someone who loves to be outside in the summer, like tanning or being by the pool, bubbles actually keep mosquitoes away because they're like scared of them or something. I don't know. But also having a bubble machine is so whimsical. I don't know what it is. That's what I think personally. So invest in a bubble machine and use it while you're tanning or swimming outside or just sitting outside. I don't know. Whatever you're doing outside, just have your bubble machine going. It is so much fun. My niece loves bubble machines. So like whenever she's here, we'll do a little bubble machine, and I think I find more joy in it than she does, genuinely. So invest in a bubble machine. I know it's random and kind of weird, but trust me, it's gonna add an extra layer of happiness onto your life. This last category is build soft, joyful rituals, and there's only 2 things in this category. But the first one is to sit on the floor instead of in a chair. Very simple, very basic, and I know you're probably like, how is that whimsical? Like, I don't get it. I don't know, but to me it makes sense. Honestly, just like I used to be a floor person. I loved sitting on the floor, laying on the floor, whatever it was, whatever I was doing, I was on the floor constantly. I can see myself getting back into that. I actually a few weeks ago was editing sitting on the floor because I was like, I just don't need to be in my bed. This was before I got my desk in my room. So I sat and edited one of my videos on the floor, and I enjoyed it so much, and I honestly need to do it more often. And the last thing is making habit punch cards. And I talked about this in my hard launching my 2026 habits video, but I have these punch cards that I made that have habits on them that I want to keep up with in 2026, and every day I get to hole punch one if I do that habit. So for example, working out. My workout one is actually weekly, but if I work out for a week straight, and to me that is 4 to 5 days out of the week, not all because you need rest days. If I work out for a week, I get to hole punch my habit punch card, and it's honestly very, very helpful because especially if you struggle with sticking to certain habits, it is the most helpful thing. Another one is I'm trying not to impulse spend this year. I am someone who, if I want something, I don't really give time to think about it. I'll just buy it, and after I buy it, I'm like, wow, I really did not need that. So impulse spending is another one, and every day I find joy out of just hole punching a hole in my card because I didn't impulse spend that day. So also writing a reward at the bottom is really the kicker here, because if I don't impulse spend for a month, I get to spend $25 on whatever I want, which is amazing. So that is really motivating to me, and honestly I just recommend these habit punch cards because love them. But that is all that I have for you today. I'm really hoping that this was helpful. Honestly, all of these things helped me kind of get in my brain what whimsy is and what being whimsical actually means. So hopefully these did the same thing for you. But again, that is all that I have for you. If you have any other suggestions, please leave them in the comments for me and everybody else, so that way we can read them and kind of go through them and use those to bring even more whimsy into our lives. But as always, I am gonna love ya and leave ya, and I'll see you next time. Bye.